The flames were already licking the windows when Ethan Cole made the choice that would shatter his carefully built walls. 3 years of hiding from his past, 3 years of telling himself he was done saving lives, gone in the split second it took for metal to scream against concrete. He didn't know the man trapped inside that burning car was worth billions. He didn't know that pulling him out would pull his own life apart. He just knew he couldn't walk away. Not again. Some debts can't be paid back, and some sins can't be washed clean. That's what Ethan Cole told himself every morning when he looked in the bathroom mirror of his cramped Oakland apartment. The face staring back at him was 34, going on 50 lines carved deep around eyes that had seen too much smoke, too much fire, too much loss. His daughter Lily was still asleep in the bedroom they shared, her small body curled under the donated quilt from the church. 8 years old, and she already knew what it meant to lose a mother. What she didn't know was that her father had been there when it happened, that he'd been the one who made the choice. Sarah or the family of 4. He'd chosen the family. His wife had died in the flames while he carried 2 children to safety. The department called him a hero, gave him a medal. He'd thrown it in the San Francisco Bay the day after the funeral and walked away from firefighting forever. Heroes don't let their wives burn. Heroes don't hear their partner's last screams echoing in their dreams 3 years later. Now he delivered packages for a living, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, carrying boxes full of things people didn't need to doorsteps of houses he'd never afford. The pay was garbage, but it came with one mercy: no burning buildings, no life or death choices, no chances to fail anyone else ever again. "Daddy," Lily's voice pulled him back. She stood in the doorway, her leg brace gleaming in the morning light. The surgery had been 6 months ago. The bills still arrived every week. "Morning sunshine," he forced brightness into his voice. "Ready for school." "Mrs. Patterson says we're doing presentations today." Lily hobbled toward the kitchen table. "About our heroes." Ethan's chest tightened. "Yeah, who'd you pick? You, obviously." She said it like it was the simplest truth in the world. "Lily, I'm just a delivery guy. You save Mommy's pictures when our old apartment flooded. You carry me when my leg hurts. You make pancakes shaped like stars." She counted on her fingers. "That's a hero." He turned away, pretending to check his phone. If she only knew, if she ever found out what he really was. "Eat your cereal, baby. I gotta get to work." The morning fog hung thick over the Bay Bridge as Ethan merged into traffic. Thursday, March 14th, 2024. Just another day of cardboard boxes and forced smiles at doorsteps. His dispatch had him running deliveries from San Francisco to Oakland and back. 60 packages, 8 hours, don't stop for lunch. The radio was playing some talk show about billionaire CEOs and tax loopholes. Ethan turned it off. He didn't need to hear about people with money they'd never spend while he was rationing Lily's pain medication to make it last until next payday. Traffic was crawling, always was, at 8:30. He drummed his fingers on the steering wheel, thinking about the parent-teacher conference next week, about Lily's brace that needed replacing, about the envelope from the hospital he'd been too scared to open. Then the car ahead of him swerved. Not a gentle lane change. A violent jerk to the left tires, screaming metal shrieking as it clipped the guardrail and spun. Once, twice. The black sedan rotated like a terrible dance and then slammed sideways into the concrete barrier. Ethan's delivery van screeched to a stop. Around him, other vehicles froze. Horns began blaring. Someone was screaming. His hands gripped the steering wheel so tight, his knuckles went white. Don't you dare. You're not that person anymore." But his eyes saw what his mind wanted to deny. Smoke rising from under the hood, not steam, smoke, dark and thick and wrong. His door was opening before he made the conscious choice. His legs carried him forward while his brain shouted at him to stop, to get back in the van, to call 911, and let the professionals handle it. But there was no time. The smoke was getting thicker, and underneath it, the orange glow that he knew too well. "Stay back," someone yelled. "It's gonna blow." Ethan ran faster. The driver's side window was shattered, spider-webbed cracks revealing a man slumped over the steering wheel, unconscious, maybe dead already, blood on his forehead, expensive suit, graying hair. The heat hit Ethan like a wall. His lungs remembered this, his skin remembered this. Every cell in his body screamed the warning, "Fire, fire, get away." He reached through the broken window, found the door handle, locked. Of course it was locked. The smoke was pouring out now, black and chemical. His eyes watered. Somebody get a fire extinguisher. A woman's voice distant. No time, never any time. Ethan grabbed a piece of broken concrete from the road and smashed the remaining glass. Reached in, found the unlock button. The door swung open and heat rolled over him like a living thing. The man was heavy, dead weight, seatbelt cutting across his chest. Ethan's fingers fumbled for the release, found it pressed. Click. The man's body sagged forward. Come on, come on. Ethan hooked his arms under the man's shoulders and pulled. The guy had to be 6 feet tall, probably 200 pounds, pure dead weight. Ethan's back screamed. His arms shook. The flames were visible now, crawling up from the engine compartment. He pulled harder. The man's body shifted, came free of the seat. Ethan stumbled backward, dragging him away from the car. 10 feet, 20. His lungs were burning. The man's expensive shoes scraped against asphalt. 30 feet, 40. The explosion wasn't as dramatic as the movies. No massive fireball, just a deep whump sound as the gas tank caught, and suddenly the entire car was engulfed. Heat washed over them even at this distance. Ethan collapsed, the man's body falling across him. His ears were ringing. His hands were shaking. Someone was pulling him up, pulling the injured man away. Voices, so many voices. "Holy shit, did you see that? Somebody call 911. Get it on video. Get it on video." Ethan's vision swam. He tasted smoke ash memory. Sarah's voice in his head. "Go, baby, save them. I'll be right behind you." But she wasn't. She never was. Hands grabbed his shoulders. Sir, are you okay?" That was incredible. He shoved them off, stumbling to his feet. The man he'd pulled out was on the ground, someone's jacket under his head. His chest was rising and falling. Alive, breathing, sirens in the distance getting closer. Ethan turned and walked. Fast, back toward his van. People were shouting at him, trying to stop him, but he kept walking. His hands were black with soot. His jacket was burned at the sleeves. He climbed into his van, started the engine. A guy with a phone camera ran up to his window. Hey man, what's your name? You're a hero." Ethan drove away. His phone was ringing. Dispatch. He let it ring. His hands wouldn't stop shaking on the wheel. He pulled off at the next exit, parked in a grocery store lot, and sat there. 20 minutes passed, maybe 30. He watched normal people walk in and out with their shopping carts, living their normal lives. Lives where they didn't make impossible choices. Lives where they didn't hear their wife's screams when they closed their eyes. He'd done it again. Run toward the fire, broken his promise to Lily, to himself, to Sarah's memory. What if he'd died on that bridge? What would happen to Lily then? But the man was alive. He'd saved him. Did that make it better? Did that erase Sarah? Did saving one life pay back the debt of losing another? His phone buzzed. Not dispatch. A news alert. Dramatic Bay Bridge rescue caught on video. Mystery hero saves crash victim. He turned his phone off. By the time he got home, it was late. He'd finished his deliveries in a daze, driven on autopilot. Lily was at the neighbor's apartment, Mrs. Chen, watching her like she did most afternoons. "Daddy." Lily hugged his legs. "You're home. Hey, sunshine." He picked her up carefully, mindful of her leg. "How was school?" "Good. I did my presentation. Mrs. Patterson gave me an A." She pulled back to look at his face. "Daddy, why do you smell like smoke?" His blood went cold. There was a barbecue at one of the delivery stops. "Can we have barbecue for dinner?" "Sure, baby, sure." He couldn't afford it, but he'd figure something out. That night, after Lily fell asleep, Ethan stood on their small balcony and looked out at the Oakland lights. Somewhere in the city, a man was alive who shouldn't be. Somewhere doctors were probably checking him over, calling his family, telling them how lucky he was. They didn't know the truth. Luck had nothing to do with it. Luck was for people who hadn't already used up all their chances. His phone turned back on, showed 43 missed calls. Dispatch, mostly. A few from numbers he didn't recognize. And the news stories. Oh, the news stories. The video was everywhere. Grainy cell phone footage showing a man in a blue jacket running toward a burning car, pulling someone out. The explosion. People were calling him the silent hero. Hashem Bay Bridge hero was trending, but no one had gotten his face. The angle was wrong, just his back, his arms, his movements. Good. He deleted the notifications and went to bed. In his dreams, he was back in the warehouse, flames everywhere, Sarah's voice calling his name. But when he turned around, it wasn't Sarah. It was the man from the bridge, gray hair and expensive suit, standing in the fire and asking him, "Why did you save me? What made me worth it?" Ethan woke up gasping. 2 days later, everything changed. He was loading packages into his van when his supervisor, Marcus, approached with a strange expression. "Ethan, need to talk to you. I'm on schedule, Marcus, I swear." "It's not that." Marcus glanced around. "Listen, there's been people asking about you, about Thursday morning." Ethan's stomach dropped. "What people?" "Suits. Nice suits. Saying they're looking for the guy who pulled someone out of a car on the Bay Bridge." Marcus crossed his arms. "That was you, wasn't it?" "I don't know what you're talking about." "Come on, man. Your route had you on that bridge at that exact time. And you came back to the depot 3 hours late with your jacket burned. I had a lot of deliveries." "Ethan," Marcus's voice softened. "Whatever reason you have for hiding, that's your business. But these people are serious. They had lawyers. They said they just want to thank whoever saved their guy. That's all. Tell them you don't know anything." "Already did." "But Ethan," Marcus hesitated. "The guy you pulled out, that was Nathan Sterling. Sterling Motors, the Nathan Sterling." The name meant nothing to Ethan, and he's one of the richest men in California, worth billions, and apparently he really wants to meet the person who saved his life. "Not interested. They're offering a reward, $50,000. Ethan stopped moving. $50,000. That would pay off the medical bills, replace Lily's brace, buy them a year of breathing room, but it would also mean cameras, interviews, his face everywhere, Lily seeing him called a hero again. People who knew him from before, from the fire department, putting the pieces together. "No," he said. "You sure that's a lot of money?" "I'm sure." Marcus shrugged. "Your choice, but they're not going away easy. This Sterling guy, he's apparently obsessed with finding the silent hero." Great. Just great. For a week, Ethan managed to avoid the attention. He changed his route, kept his head down, deleted his minimal social media. The news cycle moved on to other stories. The video views slowed down. He thought maybe he'd gotten away with it. Then came the letter. It showed up at his apartment, hand-delivered. Expensive paper, expensive envelope. No return address. Inside a single page in careful handwriting, "To the man who saved my life on March 14th. I don't know your name. I don't know what you look like. I was unconscious when you pulled me from my car and gone when I woke in the hospital. But I know what you did, and I know you disappeared deliberately. I respect your privacy. I respect your choice to remain anonymous. But I need you to understand something. You gave me a second chance at life. You risked everything when you had no reason to. I'm a man who spent his life making deals, building things, solving problems with money and power, but I can't solve you. I can't repay a debt to someone who won't accept payment. So I'm asking person to person, please let me thank you just once. Just a conversation. No cameras, no media, no money if you don't want it. Just two men who both know what it's like to face death and survive. If you're reading this, you'll find my personal number below. I'll wait to hear from you. With deepest gratitude, Nathan Sterling. Ethan read it 3 times, then he folded it, put it back in the envelope and shoved it in a drawer. He didn't call, but Nathan Sterling wasn't done trying. 2 days after the letter arrived, Ethan found Nathan Sterling sitting in the parking lot of his apartment complex. Not in a car, just sitting on a bench near the mailboxes at 6 in the morning, wearing jeans and a sweater that probably cost more than Ethan's monthly rent, a coffee cup in each hand. Ethan stopped walking, his hand tightened on his delivery van keys. Nathan looked up and their eyes met. The billionaire stood slowly, carefully, like he was approaching a wild animal. "I brought coffee," Nathan said. His voice was rough-tired to, "Wasn't sure how you took it, so I got black. Figured we could add stuff if needed. How did you find me? Your license plate was partially visible in one of the videos. My people are good at their jobs." Nathan took a step forward. "I'm not here to ambush you. I just needed to see you." "You need to leave." "I will, after you hear me out." Nathan held out one of the coffees. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking." Ethan didn't take the coffee. "I got a kid sleeping upstairs. She wakes up and sees cameras out here, sees her dad on the news. Her whole life gets destroyed. You understand that? No cameras, I came alone. No security, no assistant. No one knows I'm here except you and me. Your people tracked down my address. That's not alone." "Fair point." Nathan set both coffees on the bench. "Look, I know you don't want money. I know you don't want attention. The letter made that clear when you didn't respond. But I need you to understand something." His voice cracked slightly. "I was dead. My car was on fire, and I was dead. And you ran toward that. Why? Instinct. Bullshit." Nathan's eyes were sharp now. "People's instinct is to run away from burning cars. Your former fire department, I did my research. You walked away 3 years ago after your wife died in a warehouse fire. You haven't gone near a burning building since, until me." Ethan's jaw clenched. "You had no right to dig into my life. You saved my life. That gives me every right to know who you are." "No, it doesn't." Ethan turned to walk away. "I have a daughter too." Ethan stopped. "Emma, she's 12. She was supposed to ride with me that morning, but she had a school thing. Nathan's voice went quiet. "If you hadn't pulled me out, she would have gotten the call, would have had to identify my body, would have spent the rest of her life knowing her last words to me were, 'Bye, Dad, love you,' through a car window." Ethan turned back slowly. Nathan's hands were shaking. "I'm not a good man. I've fired thousands of people to save my company. I've crushed competitors. I've chosen profit over people more times than I can count. But I love my daughter, and you gave me a chance to keep being her father. So yeah, I tracked you down, and yeah, I'm going to keep showing up until you let me say thank you properly." "You just did. That's not enough." "It's going to have to be." Ethan walked toward his van. "Stay away from my family, Mr. Sterling. I mean it." He drove away without looking back. In his rearview mirror, Nathan stood alone in the parking lot, hands in his pockets, watching him go. But Nathan Sterling hadn't built a billion-dollar company by accepting no for an answer. Over the next week, things started happening, small things, weird things. The hospital called to say Ethan's medical bills had been paid in full by an anonymous donor. When Ethan called to demand they reverse it, they said the payment was irreversible and marked as a gift. A new leg brace arrived at their apartment, top-of-the-line, custom-fitted for Lily. No return address. Just a note, every kid deserves to run. Mrs. Chen mentioned that someone had paid 6 months of her rent, with instructions to use the extra for watching Lily whenever Ethan needed. "Nice man," she said. "Wore an expensive watch." Ethan called the number from Nathan's letter. It rang 4 times before Nathan answered. "Stop," Ethan said. "Whatever you're doing, stop it right now." "I don't know what you're talking about. The bills, the brace, the money to my neighbor. Prove it was me." "Sterling, I'm trying to help." "I don't need your help. I don't need anyone's help." Ethan's voice rose. "You think throwing money at my problems makes us even? You think that's what this is about?" "No, I think you're drowning and too proud to grab the life preserver. You don't know anything about me." I know you work 70-hour weeks. I know you ration your daughter's medication. I know you eat cereal for dinner most nights so she can have real food." Nathan's voice was steady. "I know what it's like to raise a kid alone. My wife left when Emma was 3, said she didn't sign up to be a CEO's widow. So yeah, I know about pride. I know about doing it all yourself because asking for help feels like failing." Ethan was quiet. "I'm not trying to buy you," Nathan continued. "I'm not trying to own you or control you or put you in my debt. I'm trying to give back a fraction of what you gave me, that's all." "Why?" "Because I'm alive to see my daughter grow up. Because for the first time in 10 years, I feel like my life might actually mean something beyond quarterly earnings. Because you risked everything for a stranger, and I need to know that kind of goodness still gets rewarded in this world. Life doesn't work that way. Maybe it should." Ethan hung up. But that night, he let Lily wear her new brace. And when she actually ran for the first time in months, without pain, he didn't have the heart to take it away. The real collision came 2 weeks later at Lily's school. Washington Elementary was having their annual spring charity event. Bake sales, face painting raffles for donated prizes. Lily had been excited for weeks, had made Ethan promise to come early and stay late. He was manning the cookie table watching Lily play with her classmates when the crowd near the entrance started whispering, people pulling out phones. A few gasps. Ethan looked up and his stomach dropped. Nathan Sterling walked through the gate wearing khakis and a button-down looking like any other parent except for the fact that everyone recognized him. A teacher rushed over. The principal appeared out of nowhere, but Nathan scanned the crowd until his eyes found Ethan. Then he walked straight toward him, ignoring everyone trying to get his attention. "You've got to be kidding me," Ethan muttered. "Hi." Nathan stopped at the cookie table. "I'll take a dozen of whatever you're selling. You followed me to my daughter's school. Emma goes here too, started this semester. Pure coincidence." Nathan's smile was too innocent. "You enrolled your kid in a public school in Oakland. The private schools were too stuffy. She hated them, wanted somewhere normal." Nathan pulled out his wallet. "So those cookies, 50 cents each." Nathan handed him a $100 bill. "Keep the change, for the school. I'm not taking your money. It's for the kids, not for you." Nathan picked up a chocolate chip cookie and took a bite. "These are good. Did you make them?" "Mrs. Chen did." "Tell her they're excellent." Lily appeared at Ethan's side, slightly out of breath from running. "Daddy, did you see I can run now? The new brace is so much better." Nathan crouched down to her level. "You must be Lily. I'm Nathan. Your dad and I are friends." Lily looked at Ethan confused. "You are." "We're not," Ethan said firmly. "We're working on it," Nathan corrected. He pulled something from his pocket. A small stuffed animal, a lion. "Emma wanted me to give this to you. She said, lions are brave." Lily took it carefully. "Is Emma your daughter?" "She is. She's 12. Maybe you'll meet her sometime." "Does she like art?" "I like art." "Well, she loves art. She paints." Nathan stood back up, his eyes on Ethan. "See the kids get along. That's a start. You need to leave." "Daddy!" Lily grabbed his hand. "Don't be rude. He gave me a lion." "Listen to your daughter. She's smarter than both of us." Nathan ate another cookie. "Walk with me." "No." "Please." Something in Nathan's voice made Ethan pause. Not entitlement, not expectation, just exhaustion and hope mixed together. "Lily, stay where Mrs. Chen can see you okay." "Okay, Daddy." Ethan followed Nathan away from the crowds toward the empty basketball court. They walked in silence for a moment. "You're really going to keep this up?" Ethan finally said. "Until you stop fighting me, yeah." "Why does this matter so much to you?" Nathan stopped walking. "You want the truth, the real truth." "That'd be refreshing." "I was driving to a meeting when I crashed. Important meeting. Merger deal worth $300 million. I was on the phone not paying attention, cut someone off." Nathan's voice went flat. "The accident was my fault. I was so busy thinking about money and deals and winning that I almost killed myself. And then you, a delivery driver making what, 30 grand a year. You ran into fire to save my worthless ass. You're not worthless. I felt worthless, lying in that hospital bed, realizing how close I came to leaving Emma alone in this world over a phone call about stock prices. Nathan turned to face him. You didn't know who I was. You didn't know if I was good or bad, rich or poor. You just knew someone needed help. That's who you are, and I spent 2 weeks trying to find you because I needed to know that person existed, that not everyone in this world has an angle. Ethan was quiet, and then I found out you were living in a 1-bedroom apartment with mounting debt, working yourself to death, and still refusing help because accepting it would hurt your pride. Nathan's laugh was bitter. You know, but that made me realize that I'd spent 50 years of my life thinking money solved everything, but it doesn't solve you. Nothing I offer makes a dent, and I don't know whether to be frustrated or grateful. Both, probably. Yeah. Nathan sat down on the bleachers. Look, I'm not good at this. Friendship, connection, whatever you want to call it. I'm good at business. I'm good at winning. But my daughter told me last week that she barely knows me, that I'm always working, always distracted, always somewhere else, even when I'm in the same room, and she's right. Ethan sat down next to him, keeping distance between them. When I woke up in that hospital, Nathan continued, Emma was holding my hand and crying, and all I could think was, I almost missed watching her grow up. I almost chose work over everything that actually matters. You gave me a chance to fix that, to be better, and I can't do it alone. What are you asking me? I don't know. Not money, not a job, just don't disappear. Let me figure out how to be the kind of person you are, someone who runs toward fires instead of away from everything real. I'm not some saint you should model yourself after. I'm a screw-up who let his wife die. You saved a family of 4. I chose them over her. You made an impossible choice in an impossible situation. Nathan's voice was firm. That doesn't make you a screw-up. That makes you someone who carries more weight than anyone should have to carry alone. Ethan's throat tightened. You really believe that? I know what it's like to replay your worst moment over and over, to think maybe if you'd just been faster, smarter, better, everything would be different. My wife leaving wasn't really about being a CEO's widow. It was about me choosing board meetings over Emma's first words, choosing business trips over bedtime stories, choosing success over showing up. Nathan rubbed his face. We're not that different, you and me. We both know what it's like to fail the people we love most. They sat in silence. Across the playground, Lily was showing the stuffed lion to a group of girls. Her laugh carried on the wind. She looks happy, Nathan said quietly. Your daughter. She's resilient, stronger than me. That's how you know you're doing it right. The strong ones raise stronger kids. Your daughter, Emma, she really okay? Getting there, therapy helps, and I'm trying. Actually home for dinner now, actually asking about her day instead of checking emails. Nathan smiled slightly. Last week she told me about a boy she likes. Took me 3 days to process it, but I didn't run to work. I stayed and listened. Progress, right? Yeah, progress. Lily was running toward them now, the new brace doing its job. She was breathless when she reached them, face painted like a butterfly. Daddy, they're doing relay races. Can I? If you feel okay. I feel great. She grabbed his hand. Come watch. I'll be right there, sunshine. She ran off again. Nathan stood. She's got your spirit, the running toward things part. She's got her mother's courage. Ethan stood too. Look, I don't know what this is, this thing you're trying to build, but I can't be your redemption project. I'm not asking you to be. I'm asking you to let me buy you coffee sometime. No agenda, just 2 fathers who are trying not to screw up their kids. Just coffee. Scout's honor. You were a scout. Neither were you. Nathan held out his hand. Friends. Ethan looked at the offered hand for a long moment. This wasn't what he wanted. He'd built walls for a reason. Let someone in and they'd see all the broken parts, all the failures, all the nights he lay awake wondering if Lily would be better off with literally anyone else raising her. But the hand stayed there, steady, patient, not demanding, just offering. "Acquaintances," Ethan said finally and shook Nathan's hand. "I'll take it." They walked back toward the crowds together. People stared, whispered. A few took pictures. Ethan hated it, but Nathan seemed oblivious, stopping to talk to parents and teachers like he wasn't one of the richest men in California. Mrs. Chen appeared at Ethan's elbow. "That's Nathan Sterling." "I know. He's very handsome for a rich man." Mrs. Chen: "I'm just saying, and he looks at you like you hung the moon. He's grateful, that's all." "Mm-hmm." She patted his arm. "Lily's about to race. Better get over there." The relay was chaos. Kids everywhere, parents cheering someone's dad, acting as announcer with a megaphone. Lily lined up with her team determination written on her small face. Nathan appeared beside Ethan. "Which one's yours? Blue shirt, butterfly face paint. She's gonna win." "How do you know?" "Look at her stance. She's got winner written all over her." The whistle blew. Kids took off running. Lily was third in line, bouncing on her toes, waiting for the baton. When it came to her, she exploded forward. The new brace worked perfectly. She ran like the wind, passing the baton to her teammate with a huge grin. Her team won by 3 seconds. Ethan couldn't breathe from pride. Nathan was cheering next to him like it was the Olympics. Lily ran over, gold ribbon in hand. Did you see? Did you see? I saw, sunshine. You were amazing. I haven't run that fast in forever." She jumped up and down. "The new brace is magic. It's good engineering," Nathan said, "but the running was all you." Lily beamed at him, then looked at Ethan. "Daddy, can Nathan come to dinner?" "Lily, please, Emma could come too. We could have pizza. I'm sure Mr. Sterling has plans." "Actually, I don't." Nathan's expression was carefully neutral. "But only if it's okay with your dad." Both of them looked at Ethan. Lily with hopeful eyes, Nathan with something more guarded. This was a mistake. Opening this door, letting them in. But Lily's happiness was hard to deny, and Nathan's loneliness was something Ethan recognized in himself. "Pizza," Ethan heard himself say. "Our place. 6 o'clock, nothing fancy." Lily squealed and hugged him. Nathan just nodded, but something in his expression shifted. Relief, maybe, or gratitude. "We'll bring dessert," he said. "You don't have to. I want to." And somehow, impossibly, Ethan's carefully controlled world cracked open just a little bit more. Ethan spent the next 3 hours panicking about having a billionaire in his apartment. He scrubbed the kitchen counter 4 times, hid the stack of unpaid bills in a drawer, threw away the broken chair he'd been meaning to fix for 6 months, looked at his threadbare couch, and wondered if Nathan would even sit on it. "Daddy, you're acting weird." Lily watched him from the doorway, still wearing her relay ribbon. "I'm cleaning." "You cleaned yesterday and the day before." "Well, I'm cleaning again. Because Mr. Sterling is coming. Because we have guests." Lily hopped over and sat on the couch he'd been eyeing. "He's nice. I like him." "You just met him." "So he gave me a lion, and he cheered really loud when I won." She hugged the stuffed animal. "Why don't you like him?" "I didn't say I don't like him. You make that face when you talk about him, the same face you make when the hospital calls." Ethan stopped scrubbing. His 8-year-old daughter was too perceptive for her own good. "It's complicated, sunshine. Adults always say that when they don't want to explain." She swung her legs. "Emma's lucky. Her dad has time for pizza. You never have time." The words hit him like a punch. "Lily, I work so much because I know, because of money, because of my leg, because Mom's not here." She said it matter-of-factly without blame, which somehow made it worse. "But you're always tired, Daddy. And Mr. Sterling doesn't look tired. He looks happy." "Mr. Sterling has different problems than we do." "Like what?" "Like figuring out what to do with too much money instead of too little." Lily thought about this. "That sounds easier." "It's not. Trust me." The doorbell rang at exactly 6 o'clock. Of course, Nathan was punctual. Ethan took a breath and opened the door. Nathan stood there with Emma beside him holding a bakery box. The girl was tall for 12 with dark hair and a ponytail and her father's sharp eyes. She wore paint-stained jeans and looked terrified. "Hi," Nathan said. "This is Emma." "Hello, Mr. Cole." Emma's voice was barely above a whisper. "Just Ethan, come in." They filed into the small apartment. Ethan watched Nathan take in the space with one sweep of his eyes. The cramped kitchen, the couch that doubled as Ethan's bed, the closed door to the bedroom where Lily slept. The whole place could probably fit in Nathan's garage. But Nathan just smiled. "Nice place, feels like home." "It's small." "Small is good. My house is too big. Emma gets lost in it sometimes." Emma nodded. "I have to yell to find Dad." "We never have to yell here." Lily appeared from the bedroom suddenly shy. "Hi." "Hi." Emma held out the bakery box. "We brought brownies with frosting." "I love brownies." Just like that, the girls disappeared into the bedroom to look at Lily's drawings. The door closed behind them, leaving Ethan alone with Nathan in the kitchen. "Beer." Ethan opened his fridge. "It's cheap stuff, fair warning." "Perfect." Nathan took the offered bottle and twisted off the cap. "Thanks for having us." Emma was excited all afternoon. She doesn't have many friends yet. The new school thing. Yeah, her old friends were... Nathan paused. "Let's just say when you have money, it's hard to know who likes you versus who likes what you can give them." Emma figured that out the hard way last year. Kids can be brutal. Adults too. Nathan leaned against the counter. "You did all this for us, the cleaning. How did you... The apartment smells like bleach, and your hands are raw." Nathan smiled slightly. "You didn't have to. I've seen worse." "Doubt that. My first apartment was a studio in Detroit. One room, shared bathroom down the hall, roaches the size of my thumb. I was 19 and thought I was going to change the world." Nathan took a drink. "Took me 15 years to get out of that neighborhood. By the time I did, I'd forgotten what it felt like to be hungry. That's the dangerous part. Forgetting." Ethan pulled plates from the cabinet. "What made you remember almost dying helps? Puts things in perspective." Nathan set down his beer. "Can I ask you something, and you can tell me to mind my own business?" "That's never stopped you before?" "Fair. Why delivery driving? You were a firefighter, decorated. The chief wanted you to stay. Why walk away completely?" Ethan's hands stilled on the plates. "You really did your research. I'm thorough when something matters to me, and I matter to you. You saved my life. Yeah, you matter." Ethan set the plates down carefully. "I walked away because every time I smelled smoke, I heard Sarah screaming. Every time a call came in, I froze. My partner covered for me for 6 months before I finally admitted I was done." He met Nathan's eyes. "You can't be a firefighter if you're afraid of fire. That's just math. You weren't afraid on the bridge." "I didn't think, I just moved. If I'd stopped to think to remember, I would have stayed in my van like everyone else." "But you didn't. That muscle memory kicked in, that instinct to help. Instinct gets people killed. It also saves them." Giggles erupted from the bedroom. Both men looked toward the closed door. "She's good with kids," Ethan said. "Your daughter. She's good with people. Better than me at it." Nathan's expression softened. "She asked me once why I didn't have friends. I told her I was too busy. She said that was sad. She was 8. Out of the mouths of babes." "Right." Nathan laughed. "I tried to explain about business relationships, networking, strategic partnerships. She just looked at me and said, 'But who do you eat lunch with?' Destroyed me with one question." The pizza arrived 20 minutes later. They ate around Ethan's small table, knees bumping elbows, crowding. Emma and Lily talked about art class and their favorite colors. Nathan asked Lily about her drawings. Ethan found himself relaxing despite everything. "So you run now?" Emma asked Lily, "even with the brace?" "Yeah, today was the first time in months. It felt amazing." That's so cool. I can't run. I'm terrible at it. What are you good at? Painting mostly, and chess. Dad taught me. Nathan smiled. She beats me now, every time. That's because you let me win. I stopped letting you win 6 months ago. You're just better. Emma blushed pleased. Dad's not that good at chess. He's too impatient. I'm a businessman. I want results fast. Chess is about thinking ahead, Lily said seriously. My teacher told me that. You have to see all the possibilities. Your teacher's right. Nathan looked at Ethan. Smart kid. She gets it from her mother. An hour passed like minutes. Then 2 hours. The girls moved to the floor with paper and crayons drawing together. Nathan helped Ethan clean up, ignoring protests about being a guest. You cook? Nathan asked, washing a plate. Basic stuff. Lily's not picky, thankfully. I can't cook at all. We have someone who does it. Emma keeps asking me to learn, says it would be more normal. What's stopping you? Nathan was quiet for a moment. Honestly, fear of failing at something that simple. I run a company worth billions, but I can't scramble eggs without burning them. Feels pathetic. It's just practice. Anyone can learn. Will you teach me? Ethan almost dropped the dish he was drying. What? Teach me. Basic cooking, stuff Emma would like. Nathan's voice was earnest. I'll pay you. I don't want your money. Then do it as a friend thing. Friends teach each other stuff, right? We're acquaintances. We ate pizza together. That's friend territory now. Nathan grinned. Come on, I'll teach Emma chess if Lily wants to learn. Fair trade. That's not equal. Chess is more valuable than scrambled eggs. Says you. To me, being able to make my kid breakfast is priceless. Ethan studied him. Nathan looked genuinely hopeful, like a kid asking to join a game. It would be so easy to say no, to keep the walls up, to send them home and lock the door behind them. But Lily was laughing in the corner with Emma drawing what looked like a lion with butterfly wings. And Nathan was standing in his kitchen washing dishes like it was the most natural thing in the world. Fine, Ethan said, but you have to actually practice. I'm not teaching you twice. Deal. Nathan held out his hand. Ethan shook it, and somewhere in the back of his mind, a voice that sounded like Sarah whispered, "Let him in." It's okay to let someone in. They stayed until almost 9. Emma fell asleep on the couch, exhausted. Nathan carried her carefully to his car, came back for the empty bakery box. Thank you, he said at the door, for tonight. It meant a lot to both of us. It was just pizza. It was more than that. Nathan hesitated. Same time next week, Emma's already asking. We'll see. I'll take that as a yes. Nathan smiled and left. Ethan closed the door and leaned against it. Lily was already in her pajamas, teeth brushed, bouncing on her bed. That was so fun. Emma's my new best friend. Can we really do it again? Maybe. Please, Daddy, please. We'll see sunshine. Get some sleep. She was out in minutes, the stuffed lion tucked under her arm. Ethan sat on the couch in the dark, thinking about Nathan washing dishes in his kitchen, about Emma's quiet voice, about how easy it had been to forget about money and class and debt for a few hours. His phone buzzed. A text from Nathan. Emma says thank you, so do I. Sleep well. Ethan stared at it for a long moment, then typed back, same time next week. Bring ingredients for omelets. The response came instantly. You're a good man, Ethan Cole. Ethan didn't reply. He wasn't sure he believed it. But maybe Nathan did, and maybe that was enough for now. The next 3 weeks fell into a pattern. Nathan would come over twice a week, sometimes with Emma, sometimes alone. They'd cook together, fumbling through recipes while the girls played or did homework. Nathan was terrible at cooking, burned everything he touched, but he kept trying with stubborn determination. This is a disaster, Nathan said one evening, staring at smoking scrambled eggs. You use too much heat. Again. I hate this. I'm good at things. Why am I not good at this? Because you're impatient. Lower the heat. Wait longer. Nathan tried again. This time the eggs were merely mediocre instead of inedible. He pumped his fist in victory. Emma's going to be so impressed. She's going to be diplomatic about it. Same thing. They were laughing when Lily walked into the kitchen, face pale, hand on her stomach. Daddy, I don't feel good. Ethan's smile vanished. What's wrong? My tummy hurts and I'm dizzy. He crossed to her in 2 steps, put a hand on her forehead. Hot, too hot. How long have you felt bad? Since this morning. I thought it would go away. Why didn't you tell me? You were working. I didn't want to bother you. Ethan's heart clenched. He picked her up carefully. She was burning up. Nathan, I need to get her to the hospital. I'll drive. My car's faster. You don't have to. Ethan, Nathan's voice was firm. Let me help. They were in Nathan's Mercedes in under 2 minutes. Emma stayed at the apartment with Mrs. Chen. Nathan drove fast but controlled one hand on the wheel, the other pulling out his phone. Calling ahead. I know the head of emergency at Highland Hospital. Of course you do. Being rich has exactly one advantage. Using it now. By the time they arrived, a team was waiting. They took Lily straight back, leaving Ethan and Nathan in the waiting room. Ethan's hands were shaking. Nathan sat beside him, solid and quiet. She's going to be fine, Nathan said. You don't know that. She's a fighter, like her dad. An hour crawled by, then 2. Ethan couldn't sit still, paced the room until Nathan grabbed his arm. Sit down, you're going to pass out. I can't lose her, she's all I have left. You're not going to lose her. You don't know that. Ethan's voice rose. You don't know anything. You swoop in with your money and your connections, and you think you can fix everything, but you can't. Some things can't be fixed. Nathan didn't flinch. You're right, I can't fix this. But I'm here, that's what I can do. I don't need you here. Yes, you do. No, Mr. Cole. A doctor appeared, young, tired-looking. We've run tests. Lily has acute appendicitis. We need to operate immediately. The world tilted. Ethan grabbed the back of a chair. Surgery. It's routine. We do it all the time, but we need your consent, and we need it now. How much? The surgery, how much does it cost? The doctor hesitated. We can discuss payment plans after. How much? 20 to 30,000, depending on complications. Ethan's knees buckled. Nathan caught him. Do the surgery. Now, I'll handle the cost. No. Ethan shoved him away. No, I don't want your money. Ethan, your daughter needs surgery. I know that, but I can't keep taking from you. I can't keep being in your debt. This isn't about debt. Nathan's voice cracked. This is about Lily. She needs help, and I can give it. Why won't you just let me help? Because I'm her father. I'm supposed to provide for her. I'm supposed to protect her, and I can't even afford to save her life. Ethan was shouting now, tears streaming down his face. I failed Sarah, and now I'm failing Lily, and you standing here with your checkbook just proves that I'm not enough. I will never be enough. The waiting room went silent. Other people stared. The doctor looked uncomfortable. Nathan stepped closer, his voice dropping. You think I don't know what it feels like to not be enough? I have all the money in the world, and my daughter barely knew me until 3 months ago. I've missed every important moment of her life chasing success. You work 70 hours a week to give Lily everything she needs. You're at every school event. You know her favorite color, her favorite foods, her dreams. You're there. That's what enough looks like. I can't pay for the surgery. So let me, not because you're not enough, but because Lily needs it and I can give it. That's what friends do. We're not friends. Yes, we are, whether you admit it or not. Nathan turned to the doctor. Do the surgery. Send all bills to my office. Nathan Sterling Motors. The doctor nodded and rushed off. Ethan sank into a chair, head in his hands. Nathan sat beside him. I hate you, Ethan whispered. I know. I hate that you can do this, that you can just write a check and fix everything. Money doesn't fix everything. It fixes this, that's all. They sat in silence while doctors operated on Lily. Ethan couldn't stop shaking. Nathan got him coffee, got him water, got him a sandwich he couldn't eat. Stayed when Ethan told him to leave. Sat when Ethan needed silence. Talked when Ethan needed distraction. 3 hours later, the doctor emerged. She's okay. The surgery went perfectly. She'll need to stay overnight for observation, but she's going to be fine. Ethan's legs gave out. Nathan caught him again, held him up while he sobbed into his shoulder. All the fear, all the pride, all the resistance came pouring out. Nathan just held him solid and steady, not saying a word. When Ethan finally pulled away, his face was red and wet. "I'm sorry." "Don't be. I said terrible things. You said honest things. That's different. The money is already paid. It's done. And before you argue, think about what Lily would want. Would she want you drowning in guilt, or would she want you to accept help so you can actually be there when she wakes up?" Ethan closed his eyes. "The second one. Then let it go. Just this once, let it go." They went to Lily's room together. She was asleep, small and pale in the hospital bed, but breathing steadily. Ethan pulled a chair next to her and took her hand. Nathan stood at the door. "I'll go check on Emma. Let you have time." "Nathan," he turned back. "Thank you," Ethan said quietly, "for everything, for being here, for Lily. Just thank you." Nathan's expression softened. "That's what friends do. Even when you don't want to admit we're friends." "We're friends," Ethan admitted. "God help me, we're friends." "Good, because you're stuck with me now." He left, and Ethan sat in the quiet hospital room holding his daughter's hand, finally understanding what Nathan had been trying to tell him all along. Kindness wasn't a debt, it was just kindness, and maybe, just maybe, he was allowed to accept it. Lily came home 3 days later with strict instructions to rest, and a prescription for pain medication Ethan didn't have to ration. Nathan had seen to that too, though Ethan was trying not to think about it. Trying to let it go, like Nathan said. Mrs. Chen had made soup. Emma brought flowers she'd picked herself. Nathan carried Lily up the stairs because the elevator was broken again, careful with every step, like she was made of glass. "I can walk, Mr. Sterling," Lily protested. "I know, humor me. Dad does this too, carries me when I don't need it. That's because we're both overprotective." Nathan set her gently on the couch. "It's a dad thing. You'll understand when you're older." Emma sat next to her, already pulling out a sketchbook. "I drew something for you while you were sleeping." It was a picture of 2 lions, one big and one small, standing together. Lily's eyes went wide. "It's beautiful. The little one is you, the big one is your dad because he's brave like a lion." Lily looked at Ethan, who was standing in the kitchen trying not to cry again. He'd cried more in the last week than in the 3 years since Sarah died. "Daddy is brave," Lily agreed. "He saved Mr. Sterling from a fire." "I know, Dad told me." Emma's voice was reverent. "That's so cool." "It wasn't cool," Ethan said quickly. "It was dangerous and stupid, and I shouldn't have done it." "But you did," Nathan said from the doorway, "and I'm here because of it. And we're all friends now," Lily added. "So it was good that you did it." Ethan couldn't argue with her logic, even though part of him wanted to, the part that still believed heroes got people killed. Nathan stayed for dinner, then stayed to help clean up, then stayed because Emma and Lily were watching a movie and it seemed cruel to interrupt. By the time they finally left, it was almost 10 and Ethan was exhausted. "You okay?" Nathan asked at the door, voice low so the girls wouldn't hear. "Tired, grateful, confused." "That's fair. It's been a week." "Yeah." Ethan leaned against the doorframe. "Thank you for everything. I don't know how I'll ever repay you." "You already did, on the bridge." "That's not the same." "It's exactly the same. You gave me my life back. I'm just trying to make yours a little easier." Nathan hesitated. "Can I ask you something and you can say no?" "Here we go. I'm serious. You can absolutely say no." "What is it?" Nathan took a breath. "I want to start a foundation, community emergency response, teaching regular people first aid, CPR, basic rescue skills. So when something happens, more people can help instead of just standing there with their phones." Ethan's chest tightened. "That's a good idea. I want you to run it." "No." "Ethan, no, absolutely not. Just hear me out. I'm not going back to that world. I told you, I'm done. This isn't firefighting. It's teaching, empowering people. You'd be saving lives without running into burning buildings. I said no. Ethan's voice was firm. Find someone else. There is no one else. You're the only person I trust to do this right. I'm a delivery driver, and you're a decorated firefighter who understands trauma and loss and what it takes to actually help people. You're exactly who should be doing this. Nathan, I can't. Ethan's voice broke slightly. I can't go back. Every time I smell smoke, I see her. Every time someone talks about rescue, I hear her screaming. I can't live in that world again. It will destroy me. Nathan was quiet for a moment. Okay. I won't push. I'm sorry, I asked. He turned to leave, then stopped. But think about it, not for me. For all the people who could be saved by someone who knows what you know. That's all I'm asking. Just think about it. He left before Ethan could respond. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He lay on the couch, staring at the ceiling, thinking about Nathan's offer. A foundation, teaching, helping people without the fire, without the danger, without the impossible choices. But it was still that world, still the world that took Sarah, still the world where he failed. Daddy, Lily's voice from the bedroom doorway. Can't sleep. What are you doing up, sunshine? You should be resting. I heard you thinking too loud. She padded over and climbed onto the couch next to him, careful of her incision. What's wrong? Nothing, just grown-up stuff. Is it about what Mr. Sterling asked you, I heard? Of course she had. You shouldn't eavesdrop. I wasn't trying to. You were talking loud. She snuggled against him. Why don't you want to do it? It's complicated. Because of Mommy. Ethan's throat closed. Yeah, because of... Do you think she'd be mad if you helped people again? No, she'd probably want me to. Then why won't you? Because I'm scared, Lily. I'm scared I'll fail again, that I'll let someone down, that I'll make the wrong choice and someone will die because of it. Lily was quiet for a long moment. Mrs. Patterson says being brave isn't not being scared. It's being scared and doing it anyway. Mrs. Patterson is very wise. She also says Mommy was a hero, that she helped lots of people before the fire. She did. Your mom was a nurse. She saved lives every day. Did she ever get scared? All the time, but she did it anyway. Lily looked up at him with eyes too old for 8 years. Then maybe you should too. Do it anyway, even though you're scared. That's what Mommy would do. Ethan hugged her close, breathing in the scent of her strawberry shampoo. When did you get so smart? I've always been smart. You just don't listen. He laughed, despite everything. You're right. I should listen more. So you'll do it Mr. Sterling's foundation. I don't know yet. Let me think about it. Okay, but think fast. Mr. Sterling looks sad when you say no. She fell asleep there on the couch, her small body warm against his. Ethan stayed awake thinking about Sarah, about the night she died, about standing outside that warehouse watching the flames and knowing she was inside and not being able to save her because the family of 4 was closer, more accessible, survivable. He'd made the tactical choice, the rational choice, the choice that saved the most lives, and it had killed him anyway, slowly, for 3 years. Maybe Lily was right. Maybe Sarah would want him to help people again. But wanting and doing were different things. Wanting didn't stop the nightmares, didn't stop the panic that seized his chest when he smelled smoke, didn't stop the crushing weight of responsibility that came with every life you tried to save. But maybe, just maybe, teaching others was different, giving them the tools to save themselves, to save each other, to not stand helplessly by when someone needed help. He thought about the people on the bridge, all those drivers who'd frozen while Nathan's car burned, not because they were cowards, but because they didn't know what to do, didn't have the training, didn't have the confidence. What if they had? What if more people could do what he'd done, not run away but run toward, not freeze but act? His phone buzzed. A text from Nathan. I'm sorry, shouldn't have asked. Forget I mentioned it. Ethan stared at the message for a long time. Then he typed back, tell me more about the foundation. No promises, just want to hear the plan. The response came immediately. Can I come over tomorrow? Bring the full proposal. Make it coffee, public place, less pressure. Deal, thank you for considering it. Ethan summed the phone down and looked at Lily, sleeping peacefully against him. She'd almost died this week, almost left him alone in this world, and Nathan had saved her the same way Ethan had saved him, not with heroics or bravery, just with resources and timing and caring enough to help. Maybe that was the point. Maybe saving people didn't always look like running into burning buildings. Sometimes it looked like paying hospital bills. Sometimes it looked like teaching others to be ready. Sometimes it looked like showing up when someone needed you, even when they pushed you away. The coffee shop was crowded when Ethan arrived the next morning. Nathan was already there, laptop open, 2 cups on the table. Black right, you remembered. I pay attention. Nathan turned the laptop around. This is what I'm thinking. Project Second Breath. Community centers in underserved neighborhoods. Free classes in CPR, first aid, emergency response. Anyone can attend. No cost, no barriers. Ethan studied the screen. The proposal was detailed. Locations, curriculum, funding. Nathan had clearly been working on this for a while. When did you put this together? Started the week after you saved me. Been refining it since. Nathan scrolled through pages. Look, I know I have money. I know that makes it easy to throw cash at problems. But money without expertise is just waste. I need someone who knows this world, who can train trainers, who can make sure we're actually helping and not just creating liability. You've thought about this. I think about it every day, every time I look at Emma and realize I almost didn't get to see her grow up. Every time I see someone have a heart attack in public and nobody knows CPR. Every time there's an accident and people just film instead of help. Nathan's intensity was palpable. We've become a society of spectators. I want to change that, but I can't do it alone. Why me, specifically? There are hundreds of former firefighters, EMTs, people with better credentials. Because you understand both sides. You know what it's like to save lives and what it's like to lose them. You know trauma. You know failure. You know that perfect heroism is a myth. Nathan leaned forward. The people who need this training aren't heroes. They're regular folks who want to help but don't know how. You can teach them, not to be perfect, just to be ready. Ethan sipped his coffee thinking, what would my role be exactly? Director of training. You'd develop curriculum, train instructors, oversee quality. You'd have full control over the program content. I'd handle funding and logistics. I'm not qualified to run a foundation. You're qualified to teach people how to save lives. That's the hard part. The rest we can hire for. I have a daughter, limited time, flexible hours. Work from home when you need to. Bring Lily to the office if you want. Hell, she can be our mascot. Nathan smiled. Emma already volunteered to babysit. You've really thought of everything. I'm motivated. When I want something, I'm persistent. I've noticed. They sat in silence for a moment. Around them, people typed on laptops, talked on phones, lived their normal lives. Lives that could change in an instant. Lives that could be saved with the right knowledge. I'm terrified, Ethan admitted quietly. Of what? Of failing. Of teaching someone something wrong and them dying because of it. Of being responsible for lives again. Of all of it. You're going to fail sometimes. That's inevitable. But you'll also succeed. And the successes will outnumber the failures because you'll be teaching hundreds of people. Thousands eventually. The math works in your favor. Math doesn't account for the weight of each individual failure. No, but it accounts for impact. And Ethan, you could have massive impact here. Real measurable lives, saved impact. Ethan closed his eyes. He could see Sarah in his mind, in her nurse's scrubs, tired from a double shift but still smiling, still caring, still showing up day after day to help strangers because that's what you did when you had the skills and the heart. She would do this, without hesitation, without fear, with her whole being. "I need one condition," Ethan said. Nathan sat up straighter. "Name it." "We name it after Sarah, the Sarah Cole Emergency Response Initiative. She was a nurse. She saved more lives than I ever will. If we're doing this, her name goes on it." Nathan's expression softened. "That's perfect. She'd be honored. She'd say it was too much fuss, but yeah, she'd be proud." "Is that a yes?" Ethan took a deep breath. "It's a yes, but I want to start small. One community center, prove the concept before we scale. And I want Lily involved somehow, age-appropriate stuff. She needs to see that helping people doesn't always mean losing them." "We can do that, whatever you need." They shook hands across the table, sealing something that felt bigger than either of them. A partnership, a purpose, a way forward that honored the past without being trapped by it. "When do we start?" Ethan asked. "How about Monday? That's 4 days away." "Too soon." "No, it's perfect." Nathan grinned. "Welcome to the team, Director Cole." "Don't call me that. It sounds wrong." "You'll get used to it." They spent the next 2 hours going through details, location, budget, hiring timeline. Ethan had more ideas than he expected, scenarios to practice, skills to emphasize, ways to make training accessible and not intimidating. "You're a natural at this," Nathan observed. "I'm winging it." "You're passionate. That's better than experience." By the time Ethan got home, his head was spinning with possibilities. Lily was on the couch with Emma, both girls doing homework. "How'd it go?" Lily asked immediately. "I took the job." "Really?" She tried to jump up, winced, remembered her incision. "Daddy, that's amazing." "We'll see. Might be a disaster." "It won't be. You're going to help so many people." She hugged him carefully. "Mommy would be so proud." "Yeah, she would." Emma smiled at him. "Dad's been nervous all morning. He really wanted you to say yes." "Why?" "Because he said you're the best person he knows. And if you believed in the project, it meant the project was worth believing in." Ethan felt his chest tighten. "Your dad said that..." "Yeah, he talks about you a lot." "Emma," Nathan's voice from the doorway, slightly embarrassed. "We talked about oversharing." "It's not oversharing if it's true." "It's still oversharing." Ethan laughed. "It's okay. I talk about you too. Lily can confirm." "Daddy says you're stubborn but good-hearted." Lily supplied helpfully. "See, oversharing is genetic." Nathan joined them in the small living room. "So, we're really doing this. We're really doing this. I have champagne in the car. Should we celebrate?" "I don't drink champagne." "Then I have sparkling cider for the kids." "Of course you do." They spent the evening planning and laughing and imagining a future that felt possible instead of impossible. Emma and Lily designed a logo. Nathan ordered dinner from a fancy restaurant. Ethan let himself hope carefully, like testing ice on a frozen lake. The first community center opened 6 weeks later in West Oakland. Small space, donated equipment, 20 folding chairs. Ethan stood in front of the first class, 15 people of varying ages, all looking at him expectantly. His hands were shaking. His mouth was dry. This was a mistake. He couldn't do this. He was going to freeze up, forget everything, fail these people before he even started. Then he looked at the back row and saw Nathan sitting there with Lily and Emma. Nathan gave him a thumbs up. Lily beamed at him. Emma waved, and somehow that was enough. "Hi," Ethan started, voice rough. "My name is Ethan Cole. 3 years ago, I lost my wife in a fire. I was a firefighter. I couldn't save her." The room was silent. "I'm telling you this because I want you to know that I understand fear. I understand failure. I understand standing frozen while someone needs help and not knowing what to do." He took a breath. "But I also understand that we can change that. We can give ourselves and each other the tools to act instead of freeze, to help instead of watch. And today, we start." The class was attentive, engaged. When he demonstrated chest compressions, they practiced seriously. When he showed them how to treat burns, they took notes. When he talked about staying calm in emergencies, they nodded like they understood. By the end of 2 hours, everyone could do basic CPR. Everyone knew how to stop bleeding. Everyone had a little more confidence than when they'd walked in. "You're naturals," Ethan told them. "All of you. This stuff isn't hard, it's just practice. Keep coming back, keep learning, and I promise you'll be ready when someone needs help." After class, a woman approached him, maybe 50, wearing scrubs. "Thank you," she said simply. "I'm a home health aide. I see patients alone all day. I've always been terrified something would happen and I wouldn't know what to do. Today changed that. Come back next week, we'll cover more. I'll be here, and I'm bringing my daughter." She left, and Ethan felt something shift inside him. Something that had been frozen for 3 years started to thaw. Nathan appeared at his elbow. "You were incredible." "I was terrified." "Couldn't tell, you seemed confident." "I'm a good actor." "You're a good teacher, there's a difference." Nathan handed him a bottle of water. 15 people today. Word's going to spread. Next class will be bigger." "I don't know if I'm ready for bigger." "You will be, one step at a time." Lily ran over Emma close behind. "Daddy, you were so cool. You saved that dummy's life like 100 times." "It's not a dummy, it's a training mannequin." "Same thing, but you were amazing. Everyone was watching so carefully. Because they want to learn, they want to help people. That's pretty special." "You're special," Lily said matter-of-factly. "Mommy knew it, now everyone else will know it too." Ethan picked her up, careful of her healing incision. "What did I do to deserve you?" "You're a good daddy, that's enough." They locked up the center together, turned off the lights, set the alarm. Ethan took one last look at the space. Small, simple, nothing fancy. But it was a beginning, a way forward, a reason to wake up that wasn't just survival. Outside, Nathan's car was waiting. "Let me drive you home. I can take the bus." "I know you can, but I'm offering." Ethan climbed in. The girls fell asleep in the back, almost immediately exhausted from excitement. Nathan drove slowly through Oakland streets. "Thank you," Ethan said quietly, "for pushing me, for believing in this, for not giving up when I said no. Thank you for saying yes, for trusting me, for being brave enough to try again." Nathan glanced at him. "We make a good team." "Yeah, we do." They drove in comfortable silence, two men who'd saved each other in different ways, building something neither could have built alone. And somewhere Ethan imagined Sarah smiling. 6 months passed like water through fingers. The Sarah Cole Emergency Response Initiative grew from 1 small center to 3, then 5. Word spread through Oakland, then Richmond, then San Francisco. People came in scared and left confident. Ethan taught 4 classes a week, trained 6 new instructors, and started sleeping through the night for the first time in years. Not every night. Some nights he still woke up hearing Sarah's voice. But more and more often he woke up thinking about the students he'd trained, the lives they might save, the ripple effect of knowledge, spreading through communities that had been forgotten. Nathan was there through all of it. Not hovering, not controlling, just present. He sat in on classes, sometimes taking notes, like any other student. He brought coffee on early mornings. He celebrated small victories and troubleshot problems without being asked. Their friendship had settled into something comfortable, something real. "You ever think about this?" Ethan asked one evening. They were in the foundation office, a small space above a pharmacy that smelled like old coffee and new paint. Nathan was reviewing budget reports while Ethan prepped tomorrow's lesson plan. "Think about how weird this is. You and me, we shouldn't work." Nathan looked up from his laptop. "Why not?" "Because you're you and I'm me, because we come from different worlds, because 6 months ago I couldn't stand you. You liked me, you just didn't want to." "Same thing. Not even close." Nathan closed his laptop. "You know what I think. I think we work because we both understand loss. We both know what it's like to fail the people we love. That's not about money or class. That's just human." Deep thoughts for 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. Emma's doing a philosophy unit. It's rubbing off. Nathan stretched. Speaking of, she wants to volunteer here this summer, help with kids' classes. She's 12. She's mature and she wants to help. Says you inspired her. I didn't do anything. You showed up, you cared, you taught people that they matter enough to learn skills that save lives. For a kid who grew up thinking money was the only thing that mattered, that's revolutionary. Ethan felt his chest warm. She can volunteer as long as she understands it's real work. She does, believe me. Nathan hesitated. Can I ask you something personal? Haven't you already? This is different. Do you still miss it? Firefighting. Ethan set down his pen. Every day, but not in the way I used to. I don't miss the adrenaline or the danger. I miss the clarity, knowing exactly what you're supposed to do. Run in, get people out. Simple. Nothing about loss is simple. No, but the job was, until it wasn't. Ethan leaned back in his chair. Teaching is different, slower, less glory, more patience. But the impact is bigger. I've trained maybe 300 people now. If even half of them use what they learned once, that's lives saved I'll never know about. That's pretty powerful. Sarah would be proud. Yeah, she would. They worked in comfortable silence until almost midnight. Nathan drove Ethan home, same as always. They'd fallen into rhythms, patterns of care that felt natural instead of obligatory. Ethan had stopped fighting it, stopped questioning whether he deserved it, just accepted that Nathan was his friend and friends took care of each other. Lily was asleep when Ethan got home, her homework done and a note on the counter from Mrs. Chen. She ate all her vegetables, miracle child. Ethan smiled and went to check on her. She was curled up with the stuffed lion, her leg brace on the nightstand, no longer needed except for long walks. He kissed her forehead and she stirred slightly. Daddy, go back to sleep, sunshine. How was work? Good. Mr. Sterling says Emma wants to volunteer this summer. Really? That's so cool. Her eyes opened. Can we do stuff together like help teach the little kids? We'll see. Sleep now. Okay, love you. Love you too. He closed her door and stood in the dark apartment feeling something he hadn't felt in years. Peace. Not happiness exactly, not yet. But peace. The kind that comes from knowing you're doing something that matters. That Sarah's death hadn't been meaningless. That good things could grow from tragedy if you were brave enough to plant seeds. The call came 3 months later on a Saturday morning in September. Ethan was at the main center running a weekend intensive when Nathan burst through the door, phone in hand, face pale. Turn on the news, now. Ethan grabbed the remote. Every channel showed the same thing. Wildfires in Napa Valley. Massive, fast-moving, entire neighborhoods evacuating. The news anchor's voice was urgent. Officials are calling for volunteers with emergency training to assist with evacuations. The fire department is overwhelmed. We need to go, Nathan said. Go where? There, Napa. We have 300 trained volunteers in the Bay Area. We mobilize them now. Ethan's blood went cold. Nathan, that's a wildfire. We train people for urban emergencies. CPR, basic first aid, not fire. We train them to stay calm under pressure, to help people evacuate, to do triage. That's exactly what they need up there. It's too dangerous. People are trapped. You're going to let them burn because you're scared. The words hit like a slap. Ethan stared at Nathan, whose expression was desperate and determined in equal measure. That's not fair, Ethan said quietly. No, it's not, but it's true. Nathan moved closer. I'm not asking you to run into burning buildings. I'm asking you to coordinate volunteers who can help with evacuations. That's it, from a safe distance. But we need to move now. Ethan's hands were shaking. The smell of smoke was in his memory, sharp and immediate. Sarah's voice, the warehouse, the impossible choice. Everything he'd spent 3 years running from was suddenly right in front of him again. I can't, he whispered. Yes, you can, because those people need us. need you." Nathan's voice softened. "I'm not sending you alone. I'm going too. We'll do this together. You're not trained. Then train me, right now. Teach me what I need to know, and let's go save some lives." The students from the class had gathered around listening. One of them, Marcus, the bus driver, who'd been coming for 2 months, stepped forward. "I'll go. I know CPR. I know triage. I can help." "Me too," said Jennifer, the teacher. "I'm in." "Count me in," said David, the mechanic. One by one, every person in the room volunteered. 15 people ready to run toward danger because Ethan had taught them they could, because he'd given them the tools and the confidence. He looked at their faces, scared but determined, ready. "All right," Ethan heard himself say. "We mobilize, but we do this smart. We follow fire department protocols. We stay safe. Nobody plays hero." "Understood, understood." They made calls, sent texts. Within 2 hours, 87 volunteers had gathered at the center with go bags and determination. Ethan stood in front of them, his heart hammering but his voice steady. "This is what we've trained for, not the fire itself, but the chaos around it. We're going to help with evacuations, medical triage, getting people to safety. We work in teams of 3. We stay together. We follow fire department orders. And if it gets too dangerous, we pull back. No arguments. Clear, clear," they chorused. Nathan had arranged transportation, vans, trucks, private vehicles. They caravanned north together, a makeshift army of regular people who'd decided not to be bystanders anymore. Ethan rode in the lead van, Nathan beside him, both silent with the weight of what they were doing. "You okay?" Nathan finally asked. "No, but I'm going anyway." "That's courage. That's stupidity." "Same thing sometimes." The smoke was visible from 20 miles away, black and thick, rising like a monster into the clear sky. As they got closer, ash began falling like snow. The air tasted of burning wood and chemicals. Ethan's chest tightened, but he forced himself to breathe, slowly. In, out, in, out. The evacuation center was chaos. Hundreds of people crying, children, pets in carriers, elderly folks in wheelchairs. Fire trucks everywhere, sirens constant. The local fire chief, a woman named Rodriguez, looked at them like they were angels. "You, the volunteers from Oakland. Sarah Cole Emergency Response Initiative," Ethan said. "We're here to help however you need. Can you do triage medical assessment? We're overwhelmed. We can. Where do you need us?" They deployed in teams. Ethan took the medical tent, coordinating volunteers as they checked evacuees for injuries, distributed water, helped find separated families. Nathan worked beside him, covered in ash, doing whatever was needed without complaint. No CEO here, just a man helping people. Hours blurred together. Check vitals, treat burns, calm panicked children, reunite families. Ethan moved on autopilot, his training kicking in, pushing past the fear. Someone needed water, someone needed their inhaler, someone couldn't find their grandmother. Each problem had a solution, each person mattered. Sir, I need help." A young woman, maybe 20, covered in soot. "My neighbor, she's elderly, she won't leave her house, she's 2 blocks from the fire line." Rodriguez appeared. "We can't spare anyone right now." "I'll go," Ethan said. "It's too close. I'm trained. I can do this." Nathan grabbed his arm. "Then I'm coming with you." "The hell you are." "Not negotiable. We're a team. Remember." Rodriguez looked between them. "You have 10 minutes. The fire's moving fast. Any longer, and you'll be cut off." They ran, actually ran through ash and smoke, following the girl back toward her neighborhood. 2 blocks felt like 2 miles. The heat intensified with every step. Sirens wailed, helicopters dumped water in the distance. The house was small, yellow paint peeling. The girl pounded on the door. "Mrs. Chen, it's Amy. You need to come out." No answer. "Mrs. Chen." Ethan tried the door, locked. He looked at Nathan. "We break it down. Together on 3. They hit it simultaneously. The door splintered. Inside, smoke was already seeping through the windows. An elderly woman sat in a chair, clutching a photo album, tears streaming down her face. "Ma'am, we need to evacuate, right now. This is my home. I've lived here 40 years. I understand. But if you stay, you'll die. Please." She shook her head. "My husband's ashes are here. I can't leave him." Ethan knelt in front of her. Behind them, Nathan was coughing. The smoke was getting worse. They had maybe 2 minutes. "Where are the ashes? The mantle? I'll get them, but you need to come with us. Your husband wouldn't want you to die here." She looked at him with ancient eyes, then nodded. Nathan grabbed the urn while Ethan helped the woman up. Amy took her other arm. They moved as fast as they could toward the street. The smoke was thick now, disorienting. Ethan's eyes watered, his lungs burned. They broke into clear air 50 feet from the house. Behind them, embers were landing on the roof. "Keep going." Rodriguez was there with a fire truck. "Move, move, move." They ran. The old woman stumbled, and Ethan scooped her up, carrying her like he carried Lily. Nathan stayed beside them, the urn clutched to his chest. They made it to the evacuation zone as the house behind them ignited. Rodriguez wrapped them in blankets. That was insane. That was necessary. Ethan gasped. The old woman was crying. Thank you, you saved my life. Thank your neighbor, she's the one who asked for help." They worked until midnight. The fire was finally contained, pushed back by hundreds of firefighters and lucky wind shifts. No lives lost. Dozens of homes destroyed, but everyone had made it out. The volunteers had helped evacuate over 300 people, treated 50 injuries, reunited countless families. When it was finally over, Ethan collapsed against a van, exhausted. Nathan dropped beside him, both of them covered head to toe in ash and soot. "We did it," Nathan said. "We did. You ran toward fire. Don't remind me. You were incredible, all of you, every single volunteer." Ethan looked around at his students, his volunteers, regular people who'd become extraordinary because someone had taught them they could be. A bus driver, a teacher, a mechanic, a home health aide, all heroes in their own right. "They were incredible," Ethan agreed. "We just gave them the tools. You gave them the tools. This was your vision. It was our vision. I couldn't have done this without you." Nathan was quiet for a moment. "You know what's funny? I almost died in a car fire, and today I ran toward a wildfire to help evacuate people. A year ago, I would have written a check and stayed safe in my office. But you changed that. You showed me that showing up matters more than money. Money helped. Don't discount that. Money was the easy part. The hard part was learning to be the kind of person who runs in instead of away. You taught me that. I didn't teach you anything. You already had it in you. You just needed permission to care." They sat in silence, watching the dawn break over Napa Valley. Smoke still rose in the distance, but the danger had passed. People were safe. That was what mattered. A news crew appeared, cameras rolling. The reporter, a young man with perfectly styled hair, approached them. "Are you the volunteers from Oakland, the Sarah Cole Initiative?" "That's us," Nathan said. "Can we interview you? The public needs to hear this story." Ethan tensed. Nathan felt it put a hand on his shoulder. "What do you want to know?" Nathan asked. The camera focused on him. "You're Nathan Sterling, CEO of Sterling Motors. What are you doing here?" "Same thing everyone else is doing, helping." Nathan gestured to the volunteers. "These people came from all over the Bay Area. They dropped everything to be here. They didn't do it for money or fame. They did it because they were trained to help, and someone needed help." "Who trained them?" Nathan looked at Ethan. "The best man I know, Ethan Cole, former firefighter, started this initiative to teach regular people emergency response. Every single volunteer here tonight was trained by him or his instructors." "Mr. Cole, can you tell us why you started this program?" Ethan wanted to run, wanted to disappear into the crowd like he'd done on the bridge. But Nathan was looking at him with trust and pride, and the volunteers were watching, and somewhere Lily was probably seeing this on TV with Emma. He stood up, faced the camera. 3 years ago, I lost my wife in a fire. I was a firefighter, and I couldn't save her. I walked away from everything because I thought I was done saving lives. His voice was steady, but someone I care about reminded me that we're not done until we quit. And I wasn't ready to quit. So we started teaching people, not to be heroes, just to be ready, to know what to do when someone needs help. And tonight, what happened tonight? Tonight, 87 regular people showed up and helped evacuate over 300 residents. They did triage. They reunited families. They stayed calm under pressure. That's what happens when you give people tools and trust them to use them. Ethan looked at the volunteers. They're the real heroes, not me. Them. Mr. Sterling, you were seen helping as well. Covered in ash, carrying evacuation supplies. That's not typical CEO behavior. Nathan laughed. Maybe it should be. Look, I have money. I can write checks. But tonight wasn't about money. It was about showing up, being present, helping when help is needed. That's what Ethan taught me. That's what everyone here understands. Real heroism isn't about glory. It's about giving a damn when it matters. The interview ended. They did a few more with other volunteers. Then finally the press left. Rodriguez came over with coffee and gratitude. You saved lives tonight, all of you. I don't know how to thank you. Send people to our classes, Ethan said. Teach them what we taught these folks. That's all the thanks we need. Consider it done. They caravanned back to Oakland as the sun rose. Ethan rode in silence, processing everything. He'd run toward fire, faced his biggest fear, saved lives alongside the people he'd trained. And he'd survived, not just physically but emotionally. The ghosts were still there, but they were quieter now, manageable. Nathan dropped him at home around 9 a.m. They sat in the car for a moment, neither ready to leave yet. Thank you, Ethan said, for pushing me, for believing in me, for everything. Thank you for saving my life, on the bridge and after it. I was dying slowly before I met you, going through motions. Now I'm living. That's because of you. We saved each other. Yeah, we did. Ethan climbed out of the car exhausted and filthy, and more at peace than he'd been in years. He looked back at Nathan. You coming for dinner tonight? I'm making pasta. Wouldn't miss it. Inside the apartment, Lily was awake and glued to the TV. Emma was with her. When Ethan walked in, both girls shrieked and ran to him. Daddy, we saw you on the news. You were so brave. I was just doing my job, sunshine. You saved people. You ran into smoke. You're a hero. Ethan knelt down to her level. I'm not a hero. Heroes don't work for applause. They work so others can keep breathing. Remember that. You said that on TV too. Emma and I memorized it. It's a good line, Emma agreed. Dad cried when you said it. Emma? Nathan's voice from the doorway. He'd followed Ethan up. Well, you did. I had ash in my eyes. Sure, Dad, ash. They all laughed. Mrs. Chen appeared with soup, declaring Ethan too skinny and too reckless in equal measure. They sat around the small apartment eating and talking and replaying the night's events. Normal people having a normal Sunday morning after doing something extraordinary. That evening, after Nathan and Emma left, Ethan stood on his small balcony and looked out at Oakland. The city lights twinkled below. Somewhere out there, 300 people were alive because of what his volunteers had done. Somewhere families were reunited. Somewhere an old woman had her husband's ashes safe. His phone buzzed, a text from Nathan. Emma wants to know if Lily can come to the beach next weekend. No pressure. Ethan smiled and typed back, yes, we'd love to. Another text, you're not alone anymore. You know that, right? Ethan's throat tightened. He typed slowly, I know, thank you for not giving up on me. Never. That's what friends are for. Ethan set the phone down and looked up at the stars. He thought about Sarah, about the night she died, about the 3 years he'd spent running from his own pain. He thought about the bridge, about pulling Nathan from that car without thinking about how one moment of instinct had changed everything. Some debts couldn't be repaid, some losses couldn't be fixed, but some broken things could be rebuilt into something stronger, something better, something that honored what was lost while embracing what could still be gained. He'd walked away without a word that day on the bridge, disappeared into the crowd, tried to stay invisible, but fate had followed his silence. And in the end, the life he'd saved had saved him right back. Inside the apartment, Lily was singing to herself. Happy, healthy, whole. That was what mattered. That was what Sarah would have wanted. Not for him to be perfect or fearless or heroic. Just for him to keep trying, keep showing up, keep helping where help was needed. He could do that. With Nathan's friendship, with his volunteers' dedication, with Lily's love, with Sarah's memory guiding him forward instead of holding him back. Ethan took a deep breath of Oakland air and felt something settle in his chest. Not happiness, not yet, but peace. Real, deep, lasting peace. The kind that comes from knowing you're exactly where you're supposed to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do. He went inside, locked the door, and went to read Lily a bedtime story about brave lions and the people who loved them. Outside, the city lived and breathed and moved forward, and so did he, one day at a time, one life at a time, one moment of courage after another, because in the end, that's what saving someone really meant. Not grand gestures or perfect heroism, just showing up when someone needed you, being present, caring enough to try, and sometimes, if you were very lucky, being saved right back.